Good afternoon. You join us live for, can we believe it, is the 6th Effing F1 show. Live from the Portugal Grand Prix in the Algarve. It's normally nice and sunny, but it doesn't look so sunny at the moment. Live here on the Jess Show Network. It's been an interesting race, the first few laps. I'm here with Duff again today. Hiya, Duff. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. In my opulent room.
He's the presidential suite. Also, thanks to Planet F1 for the live scores and commentary that you've got on the side of the screen there. So, what an epic first 4 laps we had! Wow.
Yeah, best 4 laps we've had all season, I think.
Why, if the whole race had been that 4 laps, we would have come out of it extremely amused.
I don't think we'd be able to speak if the whole race was that first 4 laps.
It just went absolutely nuts, didn't it? From the sprinkling of rain,
it was brilliant,
to seeing a McLaren leading a race, and I think Norris was in 4th at one point. It's
first and 4th.
Proper good fun it was, to be fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, once the Mercs got their tyres going, it was a slightly different kettle of fish, wasn't it? But
Christ, have they got their tyres going?
Because they were on the mediums, weren't they, and compared to the softs as they were. Yeah.
All the way through.
We've also got the race, our effing racer of the day vote open. See who we can curse for Imola next week. We cursed Stroll, or Stroll's car when Hulkenberg was driving it, and Lando Norris, and also Danny Rick copped it last week, didn't he? And
yep.
8th, so you can expect him to retire with half a lap to go, I would have thought, if it's true to form. And the poll is open for this week's racer of the day. Remember, just put exclamation mark and then the short name. They're all in the chat there for you to see. I'm not quite sure who's going to get my vote yet. I'm going to give it another 10 laps.
No, I'm not sure yet. There's a couple. So
yeah, I don't think there's been yet anyone that's got the complete sort of standout vote for me yet. But,
no,
I'm sure that'll change. So
yeah, it's amazing. DRS has made such a massive difference in this race. As soon as you're anywhere near anyone on that main straight, you're just gone.
Yeah. I mean,
unless
the
your
way
name's
that Hamilton
Stroll.
went, unless your name's Lance Stroll. Yeah. The way that Hamilton went past Bottas on that first time he passed him was just ridiculous. He strolled past him. For the pun of the day there.
There's one for you. Ocon still hasn't pitted yet. In 5th.
Oh yeah, I'd noticed that. That's okay. Ocon, yeah. Well,
yeah,
he must be on the mediums.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think anyone started on the hards.
But even Lewis, before his pit stop, told the garage that the tyres still feel fine.
The Karun Chandler Pit Society is back again. Thank you, Jez. Yeah. I'll have a drink to Karun. There, Karun. Thank you.
That's all right. The way you were holding it.
It wasn't there.
Literally a can of Karun.
A can of Karun. Well, thankfully Ted is back this weekend, isn't he? So we're all pleased. For those when I am drinking invisible beer.
Albon stopped 1.8 seconds.
Wow. I was reading earlier on that they were Red Bull are the only team to have done, well, that's 4 now, but it was 3 stops under 2 seconds this season. It's
that's crazy.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's
makes such a difference, though.
If you try and do it yourself, you think, I don't know. I don't think I could even get the wheel off in 2 seconds, let alone the wheel off and back on. It's very. I mean, those Formula 1 is one of those sports where those couple of tenths make a massive difference, don't they? So it's, you lose a second in a pit stop and 2 cars can go past you or someone else gets around you.
Yep. Oh, God, yeah.
Opulent. Word of the day. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's,
in the first 30 seconds of the show.
I mean, that suite is very opulent, to be fair. It is. It's
You
very,
keep
very
calling it a suite.
jealous
Apparently, in
over
this
the fact
hotel,
that-
this is a standard room.
Oh, standard room. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah,
Gee, God. And what?
that's just my
What are
little
the?
sofa. Oh no, yeah, sofa and then bed.
What are the Korean snacks for the audience today? There, Dev.
Today, my Korean snacks are a box of binch,
Pinch.
and
That's pretty.
these things.
All
Sweet
translations welcome
potatoes,
in.
but they feel like they've been covered in a lot more sugar.
Sugary potato things.
Yep. Every time, to be fair, every time we go to the shop and go to a bakery, it's like, oh, this looks really nice, expecting it to be savoury, and it's just all sweet.
A bit of Korean sugar.
Yep.
So where's our
Everything's got it in.
George? Because he was up in seventh, wasn't he? Till his pit
George
stop.
battling at the moment. Oh, I don't know if that's wet or if that was just. Yeah, he got a bit squirmy there against Giovinazzi.
Oh yes. Well saved, mind. I'll give him that. He's on the hard tyres now, isn't he? So I guess he's on them.
But he's back up to 14th again, when considering he came out of the pits quite low.
Yeah. I think he was lower than the 14th when he came out of the pits.
And annoyingly, there's still rumours that Perez might have his seat.
I mean, if you look at Perez's performance today,
Oh yeah,
in a faster car, obviously,
but once again, it just shows you that it's paid drivers over good racing.
yeah,
Because Russell is just outshone Latifi so much.
I mean, he handed Kvyat his backside, not the Kvyat, sorry, Kubica his backside last year, and whilst that was expected, I suppose it would be fair to say, Nicholas Latifi was quite highly rated when he came in.
Yep.
And I don't know if Latifi is signed for next year or not. Whether he has.
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with because obviously the rumours are rife, like you said, but I think it'd be a crying shame if it comes down to someone bringing money in like Perez or someone like that saying, "Oh yeah, we'll bring in our oil money and 20 million quid."
But equally, isn't Russell there with part of the Mercedes Young Driver program?
Yes, I think he is. Yeah. Well, he's part of the Mercedes. They get a discount, do they?
So yeah, I wonder how Toto feels about that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether part of the engine deal for Williams is that you run one of our drivers, perhaps.
But
Max is going to lap out on you. God.
Jesus,
and that guy's
not going to have a seat next year.
No. I've been Landoed on this stream. We can put some in Lando's eyes. I think it's all right.
Nice.
And of course, being another heavy Twitch user. What have we got? So Russell, he's 4 seconds behind Albon on most. He's going to struggle to get into the points, isn't he? Because Albon's 23 seconds behind Vettel.
Oh god, yeah.
Which is a shame.
Raikkonen in the points ahead of Vettel.
Yeah. The reserve team are making the work. So, although I think Leclerc is doing a solid job so far in fourth as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've definitely made some strides over the last few races.
Yeah. Although they keep pressing the fuck up button on Seb's car, don't they? Sadly. But,
definitely.
Which is
definitely.
Because where's Seb? 11th. Yeah. He said he's not quite in the point, so a way to go yet. And any other close battles around? Oh,
flat spot on those tyres as well. Christ.
Oh, nice.
No, that's not a good one.
No, that's going to be like a 50 pence piece when he's driving that.
Yep.
He did a good job. I really wish they'd kept that livery from their 1000th race, though, because it did look really smart.
Yes, that kind of darker burgundy.
Yeah. I really like that. It would look really cool. And the whole point of it being a one-off is that it's a one-off, I guess. But it did look really cool. So who else have we got? So Vettel and Raikkonen, and then you've got Sainz. There's only a second and a half behind Gasly, so there's some opportunity there, perhaps. But Grosjean, Kvyat, and Norris are a bit of a battle as well.
Stroll's retired. Just driven straight into the garage.
Oh dear. Never mind. I don't like Stroll. Not that anyone would have known that from previous streams, but that's really not for me. So where's Perez is going to finish?
That's another point for don't get you started, isn't it?
It is. It is an absolute. Don't get me started. Even Ocon's doing a good job in fifth, you could say as well. To be fair.
Yes, I still don't think he's pitted yet. And we're only getting 12 laps to the end, so he's made those mediums last. Oh no! As we speak, here he comes.
Yeah, he started 11.
25 seconds he'll lose, so he should come out somewhere near Danny Rick.
Yeah. Somewhere maybe between.
Ooh, a long pit stop.
Oh, just in front of him, perhaps. Yeah. That's fair enough.
4.5 seconds. Right in front of Danny Rick.
Oof. And that could be an interesting battle between the two teammates, couldn't it, for the last bit? Just as Valtteri laps him. Wow. Like the last race
in these tyres.
The last race we said when they could have lapped everyone up to third if it wasn't for the safety car towards the end. This ain't going to be far off it, because if he's just lapped
on
and the rest of it, he's already lapped up to 7th with Sainz. It's Gasly's only a few more seconds up the road. They'll probably get to 5th.
Yeah.
In terms of lap cars. It's impressive when it comes down to it. Time penalty for Danny Kvyat. I'm sure he'll be upset about that. At the back. There's his fire. Do out from there. Oh, Vettel's got past Kimi. DRS by the looks of it, definitely. Yeah, DRS.
Apparently, problems with the front tyres on Ocon in the pit stop, which is why it took so long.
Yeah, because he shouldn't come out further up than that, I think. We've got Sainz. No, he's falling back a bit from Gasly now in Sainz, isn't he?
Okay. Apparently, according to Ted, he's been having a text conversation with Karun Chandok, your favourite, and Chandok reckons the Ocon should be able to get up to Gasly for 6th by the end of the race.
Is he on drugs or something? I mean, come on. I know it's a Sunday.
But who is on softs?
It's 10 laps to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, 9 laps probably on live, but 10 on mine.
Oh, there you go.
He's got to make
your favourite background again.
It's always going to happen, isn't it? It's always going to happen. So yeah. Well, I don't think he will. Feel free to let us know in the chat if you think he's going to get to Gasly. I'll be surprised.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's got to make up 8 seconds in 10 laps.
And oh no, Ricciardo's battling with Vettel at the moment, so probably not. Probably going to slow him down with Ocon.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton, fastest lap of the race.
They're going for it, aren't they? They're going to get that extra point. So that they've. Oh, I thought Bottas might have had a pit stop in hand, but he hasn't, has he? Actually, he's only 10 seconds ahead of Verstappen. So no, they can't.
16 seconds ahead of Bottas.
It says it all, doesn't it? That's the thing. It says it all.
Oh, Verstappen's complaining about the wind.
Lando's got a warning for track limits as well. Join the club.
Yeah, it's been a big problem this race. The amount of black and white flags have been.
Yeah, they did a track walk.
In a very long time.
They did a track walk with Anthony Davidson before the race, and he was saying when he drove his sports car around here, he said it was quicker to be off the track than on it a lot of the time. So they're obviously pushing the limit.
Man.
Well, Karoon, I don't think it's going to work out for you. Sorry, mate. I'm hoping it doesn't. So, no, he's a fair way back yet.
No, 8 laps left. I can't see him doing it.
Yeah, I think I've decided who's going to get my vote. Though I think I've decided.
Oh yeah, who's that?
You'll see in a minute.
Are you sharing, or we've got to wait to see in the chat?
I think you should wait to see the chat.
Oh, fair
enough. Yeah. I've given it to Charles for me personally today.
Points.
I think Charles, to get that card at 4th, has done. He's had a solid weekend as well. To be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, that's where he qualified, so he's done well.
I was quite surprised when he took it 4th yesterday. I thought, you ain't going to stay there, son. But then he did. Give some beer to Crofty. Yeah, Crofty. There you go, mate. Invisible beer for Crofty. There it is. Actually, if I put it that way around, it's not so invisible. Nice. We're hearing that Lewis has cramp. Oh dear. It's a shame.
He can just slow down, can't he? It's not going to make much difference.
He's 17 seconds ahead. He can take it easy for a bit, can't he?
Exactly.
I've got cramp. Can't be okay. Understand what he wants to do about it. I don't know. I'm going to moan about it for a bit.
In his foot, more than anything.
I guess it depends where he's got cramp, doesn't it? If his
fifth place has now been lapped.
You what, sorry?
5th place has now been lapped.
His parents, he's just gone past him. Oh, good God. Wow. He's got 10 seconds down the road to the next one, so it's probably it, but still.
I like James' comment of just get out and walk it off.
Yeah. Hop out, go for a stroll. It'll be all right.
You can't go for a stroll, he's already left.
He's already left.
The only retirement from today.
Yeah, well, because in some of the recent races, there's been loads of cars of DNF and stuff, isn't it? So it's a surprise, to be fair.
So George Russell and Lando going for it.
Go on, boys. He's done him too. Well done, son. They're actually best of mates, aren't they? All of them. Yeah. It seems. Whenever you watch them, like they did that feature on Sky this afternoon with like the 4 of them, those two, Al and Charles.
Thing is now, though, if Russell's smart, he'll sit at the back and wait till the DRS zone.
Yeah, and then get him down.
As long as he stays within range.
Is Vettel having a go at the Renaults now? He is. Come on, Vettel, making a late charge. I honestly like Seb. I have to say, I know he's having a bad time in a minute, but he always seems like a decent chap.
He seems to have chilled out a lot.
I think that if you look at the current grid, Duff, and you could take 3 of them for a pint, which 3 would you take for a pint for an evening out?
I'd take Raikkonen.
Yep, granted.
Definitely. Danny Ricciardo.
I was just that was on.
We'd all be drinking out of shoes at the end, doing shoeies.
Shoey. But who would be the last one?
Ooh. It's a hard one now.
Could you maybe take Lewis to pick up the tab?
I think it'd just be too preachy.
Yeah, I'd probably take Max.
It'd probably have to be vegan or gluten-free or something for Hamilton, so probably not.
Forgot about that. That's a good point.
So I've got Vettel, I've got Danny, I've got Ricardo. Ricardo, Raikkonen.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one.
It is, yeah. Last one.
I'll take Lando a little drink. Because he seems like a good laugh, to be fair. I'm
tempted for Perez.
Get the tequila.
Yeah, get the tequila out. We'll be sorted.
That would be, wouldn't it? So it's time for today's first random trivia question. So, who are the two drivers, and there's two of them, that are the most successful drivers at the Portuguese Grand Prix, both having won 3 races? If anyone wants to have a go in the chat, feel free. I'll give it a minute, and then I'll give out the answer. But there's 2 drivers who are the most successful drivers at any Grand Prix in Portugal, wherever that might have been, be it Estoril or anywhere else. They both won it 3 times.
I'll tell you one thing I learned from the pre-stream. Randomly, nothing to do with F1. But who was it? It's in Ted's notebook. Was that Nando's isn't Portuguese. It's actually created in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
it's based on Portuguese chicken. But yeah, it's actually from South Africa.
Well, I
know it.
Yeah. Oh, look at that radar. How's your radar?
My radar, I will just refresh.
It's looking like rain on that shot. But there's not much left now, obviously, in terms of time. But
I've got 0.2 of a mil at 3 o'clock.
I think we're going to lose on that one. Mind.
And yeah, still the same. It's not really going to hit till between 4 and 5 o'clock.
So the 2 drivers that the most successful drivers at the Portuguese Grand Prix, Alain Prost and our very own mustached hero, Nigel Mansell. Both won it 3 times.
Nice. So Jez was right. Going to be an oldie.
You what, sorry?
Jez's comment is going to be an oldie.
He's quite right. He's quite right. So the next one, the most successful team at the Portuguese Grand Prix is Williams. But can anyone name the drivers who have won it for them 6 times? One of them I've already given you because it was Nigel. So there's 5 more drivers that have won the Portuguese Grand Prix for Williams, who are the most successful team this race.
There's only one of those I probably wouldn't have gotten.
Yes, me too. Me too. I'll give it a minute and see if anybody wants to jump in on that one. We'll come back to it.
Apparently, Jez had a Nigel Mansell Scale Extric set. Is that the Williams and Ferrari one?
I think it was, yeah. The Williams one. Yeah, that was a good set.
Was that a figure of 8 or was it a?
I think it might have been a figure of 8 with the bridge.
Yeah.
That's the one. And
I had my only Scale Extra was a figure of 8, but mine was a lot shitter, as it was the figure of 8 but racing mini metros.
Oh, the mini metros. Oh.
Yeah.
Did you have a sidecar one? Did you ever see that as well? That was a good. Yeah.
They always just swang around if you went too fast around the corners. Just flew.
One of the best things about having a child who, like Eric, is absolutely spot on in terms of Scalextric's usage and stuff. So I get to play with all of that kind of stuff again. It's
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still get the smell if you overheat it too much?
Yeah. Well, some of my old cars that luckily my dad had kept in a decent state.
Oh, nice.
They still work. Just the tires are a bit perished, but you can get new ones. I just need to. It's such good fun. I can sit there for hours just going around the same track. Being
nice.
I wonder sometimes whether it's for me or Eric, but it's probably for me. What's Gasly got? Oh, so Gasly's been told, let's go get Perez. He's struggling, apparently. So Gasly's right behind him, isn't he? 0.8 seconds behind.
Oh, Christ.
Team radio decides light rain in the pit lane.
Is that fighting too much from Perez, I wonder?
Oh, well,
pulled properly over.
But he only moved once though, didn't he? Think about it. He moved once and then went back on the racing line. So I suppose I don't know. It's close.
One move, but it was massive.
Chief is still got his Scalextrics for sale. If anyone on the stream wants them to buy some Scalextrics, my friend Chief has got a couple of boxes for sale. There, I will give you a plug. And,
nice. Do we know which ones?
It's a couple of boxes of the old school Trek, and a few cards, Chief. I think as well. You got haven't you?
Have you seen the new ones, the digital ones? We can have like more than 2 cars, and they can pass each other, and there's like a pit lane, and
I don't know. I haven't really messed with it. I've seen it, but I'm just old. I prefer the old school.
Yeah. Old school, pull a thing too much, and you get the burning smell. Perfect.
I used to have a start line thing where you'd rev it, and it would heat up smoke, this little oil tank, and you'd get smoke coming from the back of the cars and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And we're on the final lap as well. We're on.
That's flown by.
Look at that, Lewis. 25 seconds. And don't forget to get your votes in, folks. Get them sorted so we can see who's our cursed racer for next week. ! Vote, and then your short name of the driver in the chat.
On the official F1 vote for the day, Perez is first and Leclerc is second. So that's our 2.
Yeah, excellent news. Ferrari and Williams won, and the old figure 8 Metros plus a load of newer cars and track. Well, job done. Happy days. To be fair, Chief, when you had that set up in the old observatory, it was fun. There, it's more exciting than I was.
Here we go. Then the last few turns now at the end of the Grand Prix.
Yep, and that's that record, isn't it?
There we go. New world record, 92 race wins.
And you've got to say, fair play. 92 wins is 92 wins, and take away from that. Oh, thank you, Jeff, for that as well. That's a fantastic one.
It's like Michael said, records are made to be broken.
Beer for Lewis. There you are, beer. Well done, Lewis. Well done. I think it's vegan Heineken, isn't it? So
Can you get the star at the front so it looks like?
Hang on.
There we go. There you go, Lewis. Have this.
There you go, mate. Enjoy. I'll have a beer for you, Lewis.
So after all that madness and mayhem, the top 4 is exactly how it started.
Yeah, it's true.
Just with stupidly large gaps in between.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's and yes, that is his smoke scooter face, Jez. You are quite correct.
I'm surprised we don't have him on a scooter behind you.
Don't give him ideas for that. We had a scooter the other week, to be fair.
That is a cool graphic.
Oh yeah, they're going through the years.
That is a cool graphic.
That is smart. Wow. But fair play.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with the numbers, but I was listening to Martin Brundle before the race, and he said, "Look, if you think about it, and Lewis wasn't here, wouldn't you all think Bottas was the world's best driver?" He didn't go further than that. But the point you made, I thought, well, actually, I suppose if Bottas was driving and he had someone else with him, then Bottas would have a couple of world championships behind him. Would he have as many as Lewis? Probably not, but it's an interesting thought.
But I suppose that's the thing, though, isn't it? The whole thing of an F1 driver is, in this era where they say there's no number 1 and no number 2, you've got to have the mental capacity to get the team on your side, like Max has, like clearly Leclerc has now, like Vettel always had in the past. It's that thing of you've kind of got to have that focus to make everyone also believe in you.
Yeah, I mean, if you think back to when Max was at Red Bull, he was like sort of sorry, when Seb was back at Red Bull, it was no different how Max is with him now. Seb was their man, and Max is their man. It's
But then you could almost say the same with Ferrari. If Schumacher wasn't there, how many world championships would Barrichello have had?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I never really rated Barrichello, but if he was in the fastest car, I mean,
Because he
I
did
think,
the
I
same
think,
in
I
the
think,
draw.
yeah, I mean, Button was a much faster driver than Rubens, wasn't he? Which showed, I think.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
And we also must sort of remember that other than Rosberg, Button's the only man to beat him in the same car over a season.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, so that's like another random fact out there. Oh, I didn't tell you who the drivers were, did I? Whilst Lewis is getting out of the car. So the other Williams drivers to have won the Portuguese Grand Prix. So Jacques Villeneuve, which I probably would have got, Damon Hill, Coulthard,
Yeah.
but the one I wouldn't have got was
Yep.
Riccardo Patrese.
No, I wouldn't have got Patrese at all.
Yeah. And when I was looking these up earlier on, I said, "Oh, yep." And I thought, Patrese, I wouldn't even have thought of that.
Yeah.
Fair play.
It's been a long time since I've heard that name mentioned.
Another random one for you. The only two drivers to score their maiden Grand Prix victory at the Portuguese Grand Prix. I'll be impressed if anyone gets that one in the old chat.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And the Effing F1 beer point for that. So,
And one of those, I believe, was a Williams as well.
yes. Looking at the name, it probably was. Oh, yes, it must have been because because that person started driving for Williams. That was his first car. So yeah.
Yep. Although you kind of never put him and Williams together now, really.
No. Mr. Crichton face himself. There's a little clue for anyone thinking about it. He has the squarest face in the world, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I'll put you out of your misery. It was Mr. David Coulthard, old Channel 4 presenter now as he is, and the late great Mr. Senna.
Yep.
Also, their maiden Grand Prix victories at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Which is no mean feat. So they got these socially distanced cupboards now, haven't they, as well as where they're getting changed, and Lewis does his hair because it's more important than anything else.
But they're still getting handed the trophies by hand. There's no
You're right, Chief.
no robot anymore.
Yeah, I preferred the robot.
Yeah.
Just go back to the chat. Sorry, Chief, I missed it. But yes, you were correct. Senna was one of them. Cool being the other.
So while we've got this period of them running about, oh no, they're chatting to Brundle. But did you watch the warm up and you saw the interview with Lewis?
I saw bits of it. I must admit, I was running back and forth.
Where he kind of alluded to that he doesn't kind of think he's going to be in Formula One much longer.
Well, that's the thing, wasn't it? I mean, is he playing a bit of a game with Mercedes on his multi-squillion-pound salary and going, you know, like, for example, if he's saying 120, they're saying, well, we'll give you 15, let's make more. I'll walk away. I don't think he will walk away personally. I think
he'll still have something to do with Formula One in some way, shape, or form.
He did say that he'll be racing next year.
Yeah,
but he did before, funnily enough. But in reality,
I've seen some on some F1 forums. I've seen articles about rumours that Toto's thinking of starting his own team.
That all started when it came out that he had big shares in Aston Martin.
Oh, okay.
But but he's also, massive shares in Mercedes as well. So
Yeah, he owns 30% of the Formula One team.
and he said that he bought those shares in as the Martin because Stroll's dad is his mate, blah blah blah, and it's an investment and all that. And okay, fair enough. But we got the winner of the vote was Charles Leclerc, so he might as well not bother turning up next week.
Yep, that's Ferrari that's gone downhill again.
Ferrari will be an absolute waste.
But and Imola of all places.
Yeah, but coming back to the Lewis point, so I think he'll do next year, get that 8th title, which is it's a shoe-in, isn't it? Really, if honest about it.
Yeah.
And where he goes from there, I don't know. I'd be surprised if he doesn't want to give the new cars a go once it comes around. That's Stroll's dad, isn't it? Thanks, Jez, again for the classic background.
Lawrence there with you?
Little Lawrence and his wife. Yeah. Hang on. Perhaps Lawrence wants a little drink. There are, Lawrence. Have some invisible beer. And, I think he'll probably go another 2 years, give the new cars a try, see where it ends up. And then I'd like to see George
Hasn't Lewis and Nico now got big stakes in some sort of esports team?
Yes, it's the off-roading thing, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Not entirely sure what it is. It's an off-roading series, but it's all electric rather than petrol. It didn't kill any earth, etc. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's all electric off-road thing, and he's bought a team, and now I believe Nico is the team. And yes, Jez and Stroll is might be a fair play. He can
Brilliant.
If they gave him a beer, I could have a drive in Formula One.
Nice.
I don't think I'd get it.
Yeah, if he's bringing you a beer, it must be your turn next.
Yeah, we're going to give Seb a couple of races, then we're going to put Reese in the car. Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
We're going to do FP1, get it out, and just about make it around half, and then explode.
Hang on, I'm just the worst person on the grid for constantly going off the track limits. Did he not practice around there in an F2 car, an old GP2 car, not that long ago?
Assume you're talking about our good friend, Mr. Stroll.
Yeah. Didn't Daddy pay for him to go around the track? So he's had the most practice out of everybody else, yet he was the worst person for track limits.
Yeah, Daddy paid him. Daddy did all that. And, they had a private, I think it was, 2 days in a F2 car going around Portugal. So he knew the track, and then Paris still beat him. and yet the younger is Paris, which of course is
and then he took Norris out.
And then he dared to take our man Lando out as well, which made it even worse for him. He is not a favourite of the effing F1 show, sadly. He gave it to Lance.
Oh, no.
Lance can afford to buy his own beer, Jess. He doesn't need his dad to get beer because he gives him money anyway and a Formula One car to drive. So, don't get me going. Start, I should say, which is an excellent show on the Jazz Network. If you're one evening, I want to watch something different to Formula One, of course. So, do I have any other random notes? I do have random notes. Portuguese Grand Prix is the 17th Formula One Grand Prix in Portugal, and the first for 24 years. The event first appeared on the calendar in 1958 when the race took place at the Circuito do Boa Vista street track in Porto, with Sterling Moss winning the race for Van Wall. God, a street track in Porto would be a cracking weekend away, wouldn't it? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
You go over to Porto, have a weekend away with the boys and some beers, and that'll be fantastic.
And then do a bit of racing.
And see a bit of racing as well. So, Duff, who's going to get the remaining seats for next year? There's 2 at Alpha. We know there's 2 at Haas. Potentially, rumours of maybe 1 or 2 more around, like Red Bull, or to lose his seat.
From what I've heard, that I'm not sure now that the Alpha seats are going to be up at all.
No, you were saying earlier.
because I think everyone kind of guessed that Kimi would be staying, and I think Giovinazzi's kind of upped his game.
Yeah, I mean, where did Giovinazzi finish? 15th today. Kimi finished 11th. So you would expect him as a junior driver, and it's not his first season either, to be beating Kimi Räikkönen more often than not. But he's not.
But yeah, recent news is now that it's going to be all rookies at Haas next year.
Schumacher any luck?
Yep.
That'd be interesting. I mean, Gene Haas was saying the other day, it's more about money and talent now, and obviously they need the money, I guess. Because when they interviewed Gunter Steiner the other week, they were talking about the budget cap coming in, and now Haas are one of the teams that have to go up to the budget cap, whereas other teams are coming down to it. And he said we need more funding and money coming in the rest of it. So perhaps this is their way of getting up to that extra 10, well, whatever the money they get paid for these, for racing these drivers coming in is. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with putting two rookies in a car. I mean, it's been done before. I think we can all say that Schumacher's probably earned it just about. Callum Millet's doing a great job in Formula 2. He's pushing Schumacher for the title, so they're both at the top of the game in Formula 2. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm surprised by it, I would say, because I didn't think Haas would do it, but I can understand for many reasons why they would now, I suppose. So that would leave the two Alpha drivers staying, two new Haas drivers. Do we think that Albon's going to be in that Red Bull next season?
Unfortunately, I don't. I really don't.
No, maybe. It's nice having so many British, because he is British, really. It's just a matter of technicality, having so many British drivers in the grid. I don't think he's going to be there next year. But then that leads you to the question, Diff, of who should be sat in that car next year.
If anyone was going to get that second Red Bull seat at the moment, it should be Gasly.
I don't think it will be, though, do we?
Nope. They've kind of almost explicitly said that it's not going to be him, and they're happy with where he is.
Yeah. So that leaves Perez, Hülkenberg. I think that's probably, in terms of established drivers who you'd stick in there, that's probably about it.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to go for a Grosjean or a Magnussen somehow.
No, I think Grosjean was saying earlier on that he's going to go and have a go at IndyCar, or that he thought he'd like to try IndyCar. And he's probably they like crashing in IndyCar, so he'll be all right over there.
Yeah, he'd be perfect for that.
Spot on, wouldn't he? I think for me, I'd probably. Red Bull don't need the money, do they? So it's not about bringing Perez's oil money, and I'd probably put Hulk in it if it was me.
Another rumor I've heard as well with I think it's Haas. Yep. I might have this wrong, but is it Nikita Mazepin, the Russian driver in F2 at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I think it's his father has also decided to invest in Haas so that he basically might buy his son that Haas seat. So it might not even be Callum Ilott that actually gets it. It could be Schumacher and Mazepin, depending on, I suppose, for Mazepin, if he gets his super license, gets enough points for his super license.
Yeah, he has to finish at least second, I think, in whatever he's racing in at the minute to get it.
Yeah,
and but it's just another daddy's boy.
I think isn't it fourth? Because that's all the Red Bull, the Japanese Red Bull guy.
Oh,
I think he only needs to finish in fourth to get his super license.
Shinoda?
I suppose it depends what points you've got from previous seasons, and
It's quite a complicated little matrix of which series gives you what points and everything else, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
It makes me laugh. You have to win the IndyCar series to get a super license, and even then,
Yeah.
there's been many in IndyCar drivers that have come over and just been useless.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
But normally, when they go the other way, they tend to work out a lot better.
Unless your name's Alonso.
Yeah, well, you've only got to look at Takuma Sato having won the Indy 500 twice, and you think,
Yes. Yeah.
did I watch the same race? Did that just happen? And it did. Yeah, I was still shocked when I turned on the last 20 laps of the Indy 500, and I was like, Sato's needed. Oh, all right. And he
Name
carried on.
haven't heard for a while.
He did well, to be fair. Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
from
Oh God,
the
yeah.
highlights I saw of it as well. I thought he did extremely well. Yeah. So next race next week, we're off back to one of my favourite circuits at Imola.
Yes, another circuit we haven't been to in a while.
Yeah, and it's a slightly different weekend next week.
And it's not going to be the San Marino Grand Prix.
It's not the San Marino Grand Prix, correct? I did try and learn the name earlier on, but I keep getting it wrong, so I'm not going to go anywhere near it. It's the Emiliano something race, and it's from Imola, obviously.
The Emilio Estevez.
Something like it. I don't know. Yeah. Obviously, it's the
Emilia Romana Grand Prix at the Autodrome Enzo Dino Ferrari.
That's the one. And Imola obviously is a classic track. It's another old school track with gravel everywhere and chicanes and fast corners. And the parabolic of that last corner is an amazing corner.
And another track that we don't have modern data for, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part of it is because we moved to a 2-day format because of all the logistics of it for next week. It's they've got one 90-minute practice session on Saturday morning to get it right for qualifying. Which we also what happened a couple of weeks ago when the Friday got rained off. Then they had that one practice session on Saturday. No one had time to get the cars right, so they were all a bit, they're not quite so sure about this, and then they carried on. So
yeah, it's going to be properly interesting.
So I think that'll make a nice change to it. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And it's a great track. Plenty of taking points as well.
Yep.
There's a chicane at the end of the straight for McGregor, then there's another chicane. Then you've got the two right-handers. It's a great track. Very good track. One of my favourites when I played the old F1 games, to be fair. I always like Monza.
I think mine's the week after, Turkey.
Oh, Turkey, yes. Yes. We do like Turkey. That's in Istanbul, isn't it? That's also another great track. I think it's been really good to go back to some of these tracks this year, and it's produced some great music.
I think it's nice to go back to if we had like one or two guest tracks a season, maybe only one, so that by the time we go back to it again, enough has changed with the cars that they don't have enough data again. Because that's the key.
It is.
Everyone going into it blind.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The problem is that only giving them 90 minutes is exactly what we should be doing. Making them work.
Yeah.
They get 2.5 sessions on Friday. They get an hour on Saturday. So they get like 4 hours or 3.5 hours of running. And everything's going to go down. This makes them think a little bit more. And if someone has a car, you can send their car a bit better, a bit quicker. Then it's a good thing. And then you should be rewarded for that as well. So now, looking forward to it. There's loads of old school tracks they could go back to. We've done most of them this year, which has been great. If you look at some of the Tilke tracks, he's Herman Tilke is the main Formula 1 track designer, was to make a new track. you see all these tarmac runoff areas and the rest of it is boring. I think if you make a mistake, you end up in the gravel trap, and that's that. That's the way it should be. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
get in the next week, there's no concrete runoffs. If you go off, you're off. And that's it. I think that's
Yeah, there needs to be more punishment for it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Can't let them have it too easy. Hence, how far they're going off track limit.
Yeah, yeah, and the different track limits and stuff is really well. I mean, there was loads of track limit stuff this weekend. I think it was over 100 laps of the that were deleted because of
wow. Yeah,
limits. So,
I can understand in practices because they're trying to find the limits, but the amount in the race was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's
and considering these are supposed to be the best drivers in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we had what, 2 black and white flags? I think it was one for Stroll and one for Grosjean.
I think Stroll possibly had 2. Grosjean had 1. There was possibly. I know there was starting to think about it for Bottas, for Gasly, for Grosjean, Norris. Yeah, a lot of them were pushing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those tracks where it's quicker to be off the track than on it, but they have to police it right. And definitely, they've enforced the rules today for sure.
Yes. Oh yes.
And I mean, I think if I had to give the score out of 10 for the race today, I'll give the first 4 laps a 20 out of 10.
And 100%.
Then maybe the rest of it 6 on a good day.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was a good race. There was some nice little battles.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I mean, I think Norris would have finished higher up if he hadn't been punted out. Perez probably would have finished higher as well. Although he did well to come from last to where he got to, so that was fair play. But like I said, it was a solid race. We move on to next week.
Where we hope for more chaos.
Well, we all know who's not going to finish next week now, thankfully. So that's good. I'm glad we've sorted that out.
Yep. So Ferrari are going to have a terrible one.
Charles Leclerc, stay at home. Don't bother coming next week because we've cursed you. It's the F1 show. And I think that sums it up really for me, Chris. Yeah, it's been a good race. We've enjoyed it. And thank you for joining us, people. And here's what's coming up next in the coming few days on the Jez Show Network.
Yeah, so coming up this week, we've got the newest channel to be on the network with Little Cute Girl 86's kitchen, which begins at 5 p.m. GMT, and she's cooking sume.
Oh, that sounds nice.
And then, tomorrow night, the regular time of 9 o'clock, 2-minute warning for all the NFL action, which reminds me, I haven't even looked, which is probably a bit too late now, but I haven't even looked at my my fantasy team. So
just about squeeze it in here.
Hopefully, just got some time.
An hour or 2 to get it done.
And then after that, it's followed by the start of Halloween week for Captain Soro at 10:30 every night this week.
Nice.
And then, we are back next weekend. No break this time.
We're diving straight
Imola.
In what promises to be a cracking little race, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. So where can everybody find you on the social medias?
Well, they can find me at Rhysage1 on Twitter, and it's the same handle on Twitch as well. Could be some good stuff coming up shortly when I get around to it. And what about yourself, Duff?
I am at Duff Valley on Twitter and Twitch, and at Dimebag Duff on Instagram if you want to see some lovely pictures of South Korea.
And South Korean snacks.
And yeah, South Korean snacks and opulent bedrooms.
Sweet. But on that note, we will love you and leave you, and hopefully see you all this time next week. I think it's the same time. We're back 20 laps to go. So thank you for joining us, and have a great afternoon.
Cool.